Welcome back to Spooky Celluloid today with a spooktacular Blu-ray and DVD update. Now this is the stuff that wasn't Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome. I did a unboxing of those, so that's good. And without further ado, because you're not here for my silly face, you're here for the DVDs. And let's start with a big one. This is a Criterion box set of 4 Ingmar Bergman film. Now this isn't the huge Criterion box set, but it still does the job, and it includes Smiles of a Summer Night, The Seventh Seal, and Wild Strawberries, and finally The Virgin Spring. Now I wanted to start with this one because you guys probably don't care about Ingmar Bergman. You guys are here for trash, and don't worry, there is a lot of trash coming up, but I just wanted to get us some Swedish classic films. And you can see it's Swedish because there's just a guy standing looking at a river. Pretty cool box set, and I mainly got this for The Virgin Springs because I want to do kind of a retrospective on Last House on the Left. And if you guys didn't know, Last House on the Left is basically an unofficial remake of Ingmar Bergman's The Virgin Springs. So you guys learned today. I'm a good teacher. And next up, I told you we were gonna go back to trash. Entrails of a Beautiful Woman. Now, if you guys remember, my first Dirty Movie Corner was on the prequel of this, Entrails of a Virgin, and this is the sequel written by the same guy, and I expect as much trash, low-budget, offensive Japanese cinema like the previous one that I did watch. Now, some Italian goodness and some Fulci, because I'm still collecting all the Fulci I can get, and this is Conquest. Now this is Fulci's entry into the sword and sorcery magic films from the 80s that got popular with, Conan the Barbarian and movies like that. Not my favorite genre, honestly. Most fantasy isn't, but this is a Fulci film through and through that includes great gore, great atmosphere, great music, and just a plot line that makes no sense. That's why we love Fulci here. Next up, Shockwaves. Now this is a British film about Nazi zombies starring Peter Cushing, and it's pretty entertaining. It's a very, very 70s low budget, kind of a slow burn, but you guys know me. This is the kind of shit I love. So I love slow burn and I love 70s cinema, and this is no exception. It has a great cast and a fun little film. Highly recommended. Now, I was reading, and I did finish the book Suburban Grindhouse that talked about the author's experience with going to see Grindhouse films, but in suburbia. And he talked about A Scream in the Streets. And I was looking at the Something Weird Video DVD that's been out of print, but then I saw that Severin was releasing it, and I saw it was on Amazon.ca, which is weird because I thought Severin didn't sell on Amazon.ca anymore, but actually they do. Some of their newer stuff is available, and this DVD of A Scream in the Street, now this isn't the X version, so it has no hardcore porn. Not a big problem for me. I like my porn to be soft. But yeah, so it's a roughie, it has transvestites, it's super sleazy apparently, and it's produced by a legendary low-budget producer, Ari H. Novak, which produced The Child that the movie The Child that I watched recently and was quite impressed. So let's can't wait to see his foray into trash. Roger Corman. Now these are out of print, but some of them are still available, so I'm trying to collect all of them, but it's Death Sport and Battle Truck. Now how badass are those titles? I watched Death Sport because it's a movie that I watched. Not great. Highly recommend Death Race 2000 instead if you're looking for some Carradine Roger Corman cheese. This wasn't it. This wasn't. And Battle Truck, I'm not even sure if I'll ever watch. Now, this was one of my holy grail, just a movie I've been after since I started getting into, the dirtier, the stranger part of the cinema, and this is a Blood Freak. It's a Christian film, Christian propaganda film, anti-drugs and horror. biker, the main character is a biker, but it's not a biker film, and he smokes some bad weed and turns into a murderous turkey. I wish I was making that up. Now that sounds great. However, the movie is terrible, like bad, but I do really like it for what it is. It's cheese, and it's a movie from a period that we'll never see again. I can't really think of any of like Kirk Cameron doing a Christian movie about a man smoking weed and turning into a murderous turkey with gore, some quite cheesy special effects, and just a film that I really did enjoy and highly recommended. If you can find the DVD, it's been long out of print, and it's getting expensive. Like, I paid way too much for this piece of shit. Death Laid an Egg. I haven't seen this one yet, but I'm quite excited to see it. It's kind of this artsy giallo, and from the 60s. Yeah, late 60s. So can't wait to watch this. Looks beautiful. Cult epics are always doing a great job. Speaking of great companies, Synapse Films with their Impulse Picture, so that means softcore erotica, and Flower and the Snake. Now I want to make an episode about this film. It's a bondage film, and it's a fun movie, honestly. Even if you're not really into the softcore kind of Japanese bondage films, this would be a great introduction to get you there. It's not too much, and I'm saying that and I'm thinking about the movie and like, yeah, it's a bit too much, but it's a fun one. I would recommend it to not beginners, but like seasoned vets. It's a fun one. Black Veil for Lisa, Massimo Dallamano. I love What Have You Done to Solange, probably my favorite giallo of all time, honestly. So I wanted to see something else by the same director. This is also 68, so around the same time as Death Laid an Egg and Blood and Black Lace. It's a good movie. Not as good as What Have You Done to Solange, but I do believe that What Have You Done to Solange is one of the best, so it's pretty hard to, get up there. But it's fun. It's like a 6 out of 10. Like, it's decent. Amenaza la Noche. Now, for people who don't speak Spanish like me, it's the Nightmare in a Damaged... Oh, no, not Nightmare in a Damaged Brain. Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker. Sorry. Really good slasher film about mental illness, basically about a overprotective aunt that gets to adopt his sister's son when she died, and she is a nutcase, and you have this police officer, because there's murders start happening, and you have this police officer who blames our main character, who's like a teenager, because he thinks he is gay, and the guy obviously has something against gay people, and it's just this really like great ride. Honestly, for a video nasty, like, this is amongst the best. That's not, the standard ones like Zombie or stuff like that, but like, this is one of the video nasties that's a bit underground, but honestly really worth a watch. The Untold Story, which is one of those disturbing movies, and it's a Hong Kong film category 3, one of my favorite, not really a subgenre, but like a rating. Hong Kong category 3s are usually pretty fun, and this is a film by Herman Yao, starring that guy that everyone knows, Anthony Wong, and that's what basically put him on the map. And it's a great movie, shocking ending if you're shocked by kids getting murdered, but it's a classic, honestly, in the cult like kind of extreme cinema scene, and highly recommend it to anyone who cares about those types of movies. That's it for me, guys. See you guys next time.